So a question that I get all the time has to do with speed. Obviously, speed is a huge part of bluegrass music, and the banjo is often the fastest instrument in the band. So, to be a competent banjo player, it's essential to learn how to play fast. But some people struggle with it, and it can be a struggle, especially if you don't really know exactly how to go about improving your speed. So in this video, I'm going to go over the fundamentals of both the right and left hands that'll help you increase your speed. And the tab for the exercises and demos in this video will all be available on my Patreon page, which is patreon.com/MasonCrone. It's where I post tabs, behind the scenes content, and just random stuff you can't get here on YouTube, so go check that out. So the real truth about speed is that it actually doesn't come from trying harder. If you're tense, if you're pushing yourself harder than you can comfortably go, you're not doing it right. It's going to sound sloppy, and you could even risk injuring yourself. It comes from efficiency, from tiny movements, controlled mechanics, and relaxation. So here's an example of how a beginner may play. Notice that my fingers were going way further out than they needed to. They weren't close to the strings, they weren't ready to hit the next note, and doing it like this can make it really hard to get fast and efficient. Here's an example of more efficient motion. Notice how my fingers were curled in. I kept my fingers close to the strings and ready to strike the next note. This is key to speed. You don't want your fingers to go any further from the string than they need to. Just don't have them going out way far. Keep them in, keep them close, and that'll help you play a lot faster. There are some fantastic players out there whose fingers go out really far, but it's certainly not easy to get fast or clean while doing that, and it'll go much smoother for you if you keep your finger movement minimal. If your technique is clean, speed will happen automatically over time. So I'm going to go over some essential right hand mechanics that will help you play faster. Another question that I get pretty often is, how do you wear the picks? So I like to wear my picks with a good bit of blade sticking out. I know some people keep them far in. That's just a matter of preference. I like mine a little bit further out and just slightly curved. You don't want your picks to be straight, make sure they are curved. Some people curve them all the way in over their fingertip. That was never comfortable for me, but experiment. Figure out what works best for you, but just make sure there is a bit of a curve to it. The next factor in this would be hand position. Make sure that your hand is completely relaxed and anchor onto the head near the bridge, or up near the neck if you're going for a more mellow tone. It can depend on what you're trying to play at the moment, but for most lead stuff you'll be pretty close to the bridge. I anchor with 2 fingers, and that's usually what's taught as standard, but some people's fingers struggle to move independently of each other. Some people's ring finger tries to move with their middle finger, and they have to anchor with just their pinky. If that happens to you, that's okay. Just make sure you're anchoring with at least 1 finger. And next is power versus control. If you play too hard, it's going to be hard to play fast. Your tone will be a little bit clunky sounding. You'll probably even get some buzz. Banjo players are known for playing super hard and having a lot of power, and that's a really cool thing about the instrument. But if you play too hard, you hit a speed ceiling, your tone won't be good. So just make sure you find that middle ground, and again, this just comes from a lot of practice and experimentation. Here's an example of playing a bit too hard and loud. And then here's an example that's still pretty hard, a lot of power, but controlled. So you want to go for both power and control, not just power. Now let's go over some left hand efficiency tips. Some beginners may not realize this, but your left hand can kill your speed just as much as the right hand. In the same way that you don't want big dramatic movements from your picking fingers, you also don't want that from your fretting fingers. You want to keep your hands close to the frets. Whether you're fretting chords, doing slides, pull-offs, hammer-ons, make sure that you keep your fingers close to the strings. So your right and left hands are working together. They need to be synced, they need to be close to the strings and ready for the next note. Here's an exercise I like to teach for building your speed with the Foggy Mountain Roll using a hammer-on on both the 2nd and 3rd strings. So that's an exercise that you can actually use in actual songs. You wouldn't want to be that repetitive with it, but it's a cool sounding lick. And it's great for building your speed, but again, just make sure that it's got both power and control, that your timing is good, and that everything is smooth before you speed up. Here's another example of a lick that's great for practicing speed. So a quick summary: make sure you're relaxed, make sure that you prioritize accuracy over speed before trying to really build your speed, and go for both power and control, but especially control. And work on these exercises for maybe 10-15 minutes per day. And you don't only have to use the drills in this video. You can use full songs like Cripple Creek, Banjo in the Hollow. You can take other licks you know and work on them. Just be intentional about using speed drills in your daily practice, and your speed will go up sooner than you think. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was enjoyable and helpful. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing to my channel. That helps me out a lot. Be sure to leave me a comment. Tell me what you thought if you have any questions. Thanks again for watching.